Well, I am really excited to introduce our guest speakers today. They are both Snow College alums, so I hope that makes you guys excited because they understand what it's like to be in your shoes, in your seats. Rylar and Nicole Masco are a husband and wife real estate team and owners of Masco Realty. Rylar and Nicole did not start in real estate with a big plan or perfect roadmap. Instead, they started with curiosity, a willingness to learn, and a desire to build something better for their family. Rylar's been in real estate for over 10 years and brings an MBA-focused, systems-driven approach to real estate, making what can feel overwhelming simple and clear for clients. Early on, he realized real estate didn't have to be complicated or expensive to be done well, which led to offering high-level service at affordable commissions and ultimately helping Masco Realty rank in the top 0.5% of all agents in Utah. So 0.5%, like top of the top. This is really amazing. Nicole joined the business after a career in coaching high school students. Loving people and learning made the transition natural. Education is at the heart of how they work, especially helping clients feel confident and prepared when it comes to real estate and finances. Aside from being realtors and real estate investors, they are certified financial coaches, and they believe that real estate is one of the most powerful tools to build generational wealth and change a family's future. They built Masco Realty around one core belief: clients before commissions. Maybe you guys are going to say that again today. That principle shapes how they serve buyers, sellers, and investors, and why most of their business comes from referrals. Outside of real estate, the best part of their lives is being able to be parents to their 2 kids, Milo and Maisie. They also love renovating properties, staying active, traveling, and turning not-so-pretty houses into beautiful homes. So please welcome Rylar and Nicole.
Wow.
Thanks, guys.
I didn't know Rylar wrote that, so I'm like, whoa.
ChatGPT.
That's so impressive.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right. We're going to move this over.
Hi. So what type of people do you have come here? Like, who's come in the past? Who have you guys really liked? Graphic design, cool. And like freelancing their graphic design, or they work for a company? Well, I guess it's entrepreneurship, so it's most of it is just on their own, right? Okay. Anyone else? That's really cool. No one's cool. Okay, well, now next week.
On our drive down, we had a class like this together, and Nicole reminded me of one that we heard. So tell them about it.
So like it's at the one building on campus. So we met at Snow, my freshman year. Okay, let me tell you.
We'll get into that. No. Get to the story first.
Okay, so it was at the 3rd story of that big building that kind of looks like a mansion house on campus. Like it's not the noise building. Oh my gosh, my brain has been flooded with memories. Okay, so it's a top story of there, and there was like a ton of seats, and this lady comes up, and she's blonde and like unapologetically herself, and she's like, I made my business off of poop. And we're like, what the frick? So she literally pulled out a cow poop. A
dry cow pie
with a clock on it, and it's like a gag gift. So she was like, told her story going through a middle divorce, found this cow pie, and is like, I'm gonna make a business out of this. Put a clock on it, put funny quotes like, stop looking at the time you old fart or something like that, and then sold them for $40 a piece and made millions. And I still remember it because it was such a good class.
So ours probably won't be as memorable as that.
Because we're not selling poop and it's not memorable. I'm like, you're always gonna remember poop. So real estate's not boring, but cool, but kind of boring.
So anyways, hopefully we can at least, help you remember one thing.
Who was the coolest? You can say,
we should have bought some from her and been like, look, we learned from this lady years ago.
Oh,
anyways.
Do you really?
She spoke in the class that I was in.
There you go.
Oh, no way.
See, memorable, right?
Yeah.
But that's a good idea. We should buy some of those clocks. Who would forget?
Just a piece of crap in her office. That's awesome. Let's do it. Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about a little bit about us very quickly. So those are our kids, Milo and Maisie.
7 and 5.
Yeah, 7 and 5. And they are everything that we, the main reason why we do stuff. So you'll all find out that you'll have something that drives you to want to be successful, and then you'll want to run with that. So I'll talk about Masco Realty. Nicole's going to talk about Masco Property. So Masco Realty, so we kind of have 2 main businesses. One of them is where we help people buy and sell homes. That's Masco Realty. So, if anybody wants to build a home or buy a home or sell a home or anything, sell land, buy land, all that. That's what Masco Realty is. So that's one of our businesses, and that was our first big business, I would say. I did some during college, but nothing that really turned into anything. And so we have a team of people, which we'll talk about later, and then Masco Properties.
Are we going to talk about our origin stories at all after this?
Yes, that's coming up.
After this, so I don't get ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Masco Properties says we just own real estate ourselves. So we own our home, and then we have a bunch of rental properties that we renovate ourselves. Like, we don't hire anyone out, and we'll show a video later of it, and we manage them ourselves too. And so that's another part of our business. So it's cool because we have experience with rentals, and so when clients come to us, be like, we want to buy real estate. We're like, oh, cool. We do that as well, so we can give you all the experience with that as well. So that's cool.
Yeah, so we have like a couple properties in like southern Utah. I have one in Manti. So I grew up in Manti. Did anybody go to Manti High or anybody? There we go.
Manti's 15th.
What's your last name?
Great.
Trithal, like Blake Trithal? Okay, awesome. So then you would be, what's your dad's name? Tom. Did he teach at the high school? Okay, so Tom was teaching there when I was at high school. See, small world.
We're
Anyways,
ancient.
yeah.
We're old.
But yeah, so I bought my childhood home from my parents, renovated it. We just went and dropped stuff off there and Airbnb that. So that came after Masco Realty, which we'll talk about that. So I'll let you get into the fun part of telling our story. I'm going to give them the boring stuff
So
about
now's
me.
the origin story.
Yeah, but I'm going to go first.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Okay.
Okay, so I went to Manti High School, graduated, went on a mission to El Salvador, came back, went to Snow College, and then from there went to Utah State, got a degree in entrepreneurship. And then I went on and did an MBA online through WGU, which is Western Governors University. So that's my path. And then I'll let Nicole tell the fun stuff.
Right now?
Yes.
It's like the 5th time I've asked. I'm like, is it now? Is it time? Is it time? Is it time?
She's excited.
So I was a freshman in college, like just graduated. So I went to Bingham, South Jordan, if you guys know where that is. Came down here. And then my first class was public speaking at 7:30 in the morning. And I didn't know that 7:30 was early in college because like I'm used to getting up at 6 for sports, whatever. So I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll sign up for that. And I walk in there, I'm one of 3 girls. And all the other guys in class were all athletic guys. I'm like, I love college, this is so great. And then long story short, we found out we had the same birthdays. And then he chased me for 2 years and I finally got married. Yeah, because he's great. He's a
Wow,
great
you've
guy.
done that down a lot. I was expecting a lot longer.
Way thin. So yeah. So now we're married. We've been married for 16 years. 2 kids.
Yeah, it'll be 16.
Yeah, and I guess we'll start with the origin start part of our business. So I was teaching high school, and I was coaching co-ed cheer in Salt Lake, and Rylar was doing. Am I ahead of myself again?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on, but first I'll tell you, I had to convince this girl to kiss me. I had to take her to Disneyland.
It was rad.
The good news was, back in the day, you could get into Disneyland for free on your birthday. So I exploited that, and since we have the same birthday, I took her to Disneyland
That's really cute.
for our first kiss. And then she was asking me like, where's our first kiss back at Snow? And I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
But anyways, okay.
Apartment? I don't know.
So first we're going to talk about entrepreneurship in general, then we'll get to our story. So the reason, why did we pick entrepreneurship, right? So even though I had my undergrad in entrepreneurship, when I did my MBA, I actually didn't really honestly think I was going to start a business. I didn't always have this plan to start a business necessarily. It ended up, we'll tell you our story, it kind of happened. But when we were going along, we both had full-time jobs that were working for other people, and we started to notice like, oh, they kind of control a little bit of our schedule, right? We got to put in the hours and all that kind of stuff. So some of the reasons that we chose entrepreneurship was, trying to build a business that just supports our life rather than, having to work our life around business. And then we can choose our own destiny. We can choose, our own schedules. You just have a lot more freedom. So, and then we wanted financial freedom, which a lot of times at companies, there's sometimes a cap of how much your earning potential is. Whereas entrepreneurship, it's really up to you. So we're going to skip over some slides pretty quick because we want to make sure we leave time. Because we got to be done at 11:30.
1:30.
Sorry, wow, 1:20, not 1:30, 1:20. Perfect. Okay, we're going to crank. So, and then anything to add before you go into this slide? Okay, then I'll talk about why we started as realtors, and then you'll go into why we did Masco Properties.
No, can I talk first?
Perfect.
Okay, cool, great. All right, so one time, so I was teaching school, doing co-ed cheer. Rylar was working for a business based out of Oregon, and we both liked our jobs. We liked what we were doing, but it took us years to get pregnant with our only son. And I remember us driving from, that's funny, Manti, because that's where Rylar's parents lived, to Salt Lake. And we're like, what does our future look like? What's our 10-year, 20, 30-year plan? Which we always have discussions like that, but it was like a 2-hour drive, so he was stuck in the car with me, so he had to talk to me. And so we're like just chatting, like, what does this look like in the future? And he said, you know what would be super cool if we could just teach people how to have success by managing their money in a smart way to grow generational wealth. I'm like financial coaching? He's like, that'd be really cool. Like, or maybe we do it through real estate. So we were kind of manifesting what we're doing now 15 years ago. And we didn't know this was what it was going to be because I was teaching. I got a degree in education. He got a degree in entrepreneurship. We never knew this is what it was going to be. So by accident, I'm going to go into this part of this school. Rylar was working for his company. I was teaching high school. And we were buying our first home, and our realtor just loved Rylar and was like, dude, you need to get your license. I will pay for you to go to school. You have an act for this. She paid for him to go to school. He got his license and like sold a couple homes here and there along with our full-time jobs. And long story short, we finally got pregnant with our son. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense for me to go back to teach. Like, we all know teachers don't get paid the best in Utah, and it doesn't make sense. And I've wanted to have a family for a long time, so this is going to be done of my education career. And then he started getting too busy doing his full-time job and real estate. He's like, you need to get your license. I'm like, oh, this is the thing we manifested like 8 years ago. Like, this is the thing. And so I got my license, and then it slowly came to the point where in 2022, we were growing so fast and had so many clients who trusted us, not only to do their real estate, but we did financial coaching as well. So like people come to us, I don't know how to budget my money. That's a small part of our business that we don't advertise too much, but if people are in a dilemma, we get them to the point where they can buy a home, which is the most money you'll ever spend, most people, in your entire life on something. So if we can help them get to a financial situation where buying a home is a blessing versus a curse, then we've won. Because if you can have financial freedom from buying a home for the rest of your life, you'll be fine. And so then it turned into what we do now. And so Rylar quit his job, which was terrifying. I knew I wasn't gonna go back to work. I'm like, hey, this is it. Like, the jump to not depend on anybody and then just to be like, we're our own bosses. We have the hustle, but like, what if the market, what if this? Like, there were so many, and we had kids, like, we don't have insurance. How's this gonna work? The what if of taking the jump was terrifying, but once we made it, we're like, why didn't we do that 4 years ago? But we had to get there. But that's the beginning of where we're at now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So behind why we chose real estate wasn't, like she said, a whole full game plan. Honestly, it was because it offered kind of a flexible schedule. We both liked real estate. We both like people. She's obviously much more of an extrovert. Will talk to big groups. I like more one-on-one. So that was kind of some of the reasoning behind why we chose real estate. It wasn't, like I said, anything too fancy, just that. And then, why real estate investing? Talk about that.
Okay.
Why we chose to start investing after.
So when we bought our first home, it was a little townhome in West Jordan, and we got to a point where we're like, hey, we could turn this into like our retirement. Like, we don't need to depend on the government. Like, this can be for us. Let's start small and grow into our next home and then rent out this one. And then we did that. We paid off our first home, actually, when we were both dual income, no kids. We paid off our first home. So we owed nothing to anybody, which was the coolest feeling. Bought our next home, rental on the bottom, rented this one. We were paying less for us to live in this home than someone would be paying for rent. And we own 2 properties. And we're like, there's something here. Let's keep doing this. And so now every year, it's not just real estate. We do it in other things, but every year we try to invest in something. So like Rylar's house, talked about childhood home. We have some rentals in St. George. This year we invested in land in Bear Lake. Last year we invested in a entertainment center in Dallas. Like, anyway, there's always opportunities that we're taking, and it's cool because it like rolls on faster. Just a small opportunity got us there, and it's just limitless for us. So that's why we like to do it.
Yeah, and then honestly,
is there any questions, by the way? Because we're just
we got one more slide.
Okay.
And then we got the questions coming up.
Okay.
So real estate had actually blessed both of our families' lives as well. So like her dad passed away while she was here at Snow College. and her mom got some life insurance money and invested in real estate. And then we saw how that grew and actually became her only source of income. And so that was like impressive, and was a lifesaver for her.
Yeah, we both grew up poor. I wouldn't say like poverty, but we both grew up poor. So it's just an opportunity to be like, how can we grow this for our family to bless our kids?
Yeah, and it's definitely, real estate's helped our families, grow and everything like that. So those are some of the reasons. That's the Manti house. If you ever need a big Airbnb, this one is in Laverton by Zion. That one's St. George. There's just a few pictures of them. But there's tax advantages to real estate investing. And the other reason was, as realtors, right, we're trying to tell people how to buy, sell homes, how to invest in real estate and all this stuff. And if you haven't done it yourself, I don't know, I wouldn't really probably ever trust maybe a doctor that's not healthy, or, I don't know, but if it was a real estate agent that had never done anything personally with real estate, it's kind of hard to understand where they may have their expertise or not. Somebody that's never rock climbed and they're going to be a rock climbing instructor, right? It just doesn't work. And so we're like, okay, we need to invest to be able to tell our clients what they're going to experience. And then obviously we want to hope to build, wealth for retirement. Okay, we got a quiz. It's not the end, don't worry. But we've got some swag to give out.
I will pick while you question.
Well, okay. you should let them pick.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got stainless steel tumblers.
We have some title guarantee hats.
Okay, what are the names of our two businesses?
Realty and Masco property.
Okay,
boom.
What's your name?
Lexi.
Lexi. Okay.
Woo!
Round of applause. Okay, next one.
Okay. What are the names of our two kids?
Or name one. So one person do one way and one person do the other name. Yes. Milo. Okay, come pick something. What was your name? Brecklin with a B? That is darling. Okay, and yes.
Nice.
Your name is Maisie or our daughter's name is Maisie? Okay, yes, that's
okay.
I'm just kidding. What is your name though? Brinley. Okay, come up and grab something, Brinley.
Okay. That's it. We were just checking to make sure.
I'm just joking.
But any questions that you guys have? Any questions so far?
Hey, if you say something, ask a question, just ask it. I'll throw something at you. Something free.
Okay, there's one more question I forgot. One reason why we invest in real estate. Why did we decide to invest in real estate?
We have a ton of answers. Yes.
Retirement.
Sure. Come grab something.
I know you want the silverback.
Yeah, he's like, I want the gorilla. Everyone will get one.
There's plenty of those at the end.
And then the gorilla will be at the end.
Yeah, you can get a gorilla at the end.
Yeah.
We can take it now if you want to.
Yeah.
But you can get something nicer if you want. All right.
Nice.
Okay, that's all of it. So Nicole's already talked about some of this, so I'm going to skip over it pretty quick. So I got licensed 2016, real estate license. I started solo as a side gig. I was still working full time. And so the realtor, like she said, helped us. She's like, you should get your license. So I did, got my license, and just did it kind of on the side, help cousins, family, friends. I would say there's pros and cons to doing that. The pro is that I had a lot less risk, right? Like if I failed at doing being a realtor, right? If I was terrible at it, I still have my full-time job to fall back on. The downside was because it was a side gig, I didn't really put a ton of energy and effort and as much into it, right? I probably could have gone a lot more gung-ho about it, but I kind of used my full-time job as like a crutch. So there's pros and cons. You got to weigh what works for you. It ended up working for us, but I can definitely see some disadvantages. I started before I felt ready, but that was mostly because the realtor's like, hey, here's free classes, and I had a time period I had to take the classes, and et cetera. Got great mentors, and we continually did education. So I'm going to skip over. Okay, then Nicole joined, like she said, in 2018. I went full-time in 2022, and that's when we kind of started to make a shift. Obviously, right before a little bit before going full-time, we're like, okay, if we're gonna do this full-time, we gotta actually turn this into a business. Before it was kind of like a side hustle, a side gig, and then we had to transition it to a business. And so I think some of the biggest things that helped with that was Nicole's really good at budgeting and the finance side of things and being more aware of our money, whereas before it was just kind of like extra money that came in, so we just do whatever with it. We really started to decide, okay, if we're gonna make this our full-time gig, we've gotta actually kind of check where our money's going and give it a purpose where it's going. And then we decided we wanted to build more of a team. And so we added on some, I think we had a picture of them.
Yeah.
Right there. So then we added, this is our current team today. So we added some team members with the idea of being able to offload, some of our some of our duties and stuff like that. So we'll get into more of that later.
It's kind of cool though. Like we got to a point where our business was getting so big that like we just couldn't do it on our own. And so it was weird, but to get to the point where like we have to start paying people to do what we can't do anymore, which is really empowering because you're like, you've grown that enough to do that, which is rad.
Yeah. So some of the early challenges that we had, both when I was doing as a side gig, even when Nicole joined me in 2018, is there was no guaranteed paycheck, right? So that was some of the early challenges, was trying to figure out how to budget and how to have emergency funds and stuff like that to be able to go. And it's still to this day, we'll have months where, we'll make a ton of money, we'll have months where we'll make zero. And so not every, obviously, business is like that, but we decided that that was one of the early challenges, and one of the ways we overcame that was just having a good emergency fund, like a fund that we can pull from in the months we don't make anything. The other hard part was we didn't really realize that being in real estate, being realtors, is really just a people business. It's all about leads. So if you don't have people that want to buy or sell a home, you don't have business, right? And so I didn't really understand that. I was more focused on probably the business side of things than like the actual people and getting clients. So that was one of our early challenges. Obviously I didn't know everything, but that's a common early challenge for any entrepreneur, and that I don't think that's a big hindrance. The other thing is I would confuse being busy, right? I was always busy. I was really busy, but I wasn't always productive. So I was confusing being busy with being productive. Since then we've learned how to more, time block and make sure that we're doing the parts of our business that are most important, like reaching out to people, trying to connect with people, stuff like that. Anything to add? No? Okay.
Surprisingly.
Okay, do you want to talk about, I already talked about growth and team a little bit. We got another quiz already. Okay, you might have already seen that question. What year did I get my license?
2016.
2016.
You're my friend.
Great.
Come and grab what you
She's like, I'm taking good notes now.
You have the Tumbler hat,
Okay.
bags left, shirt.
What was one of our early challenges?
No
No steady paycheck coming in. Come on up.
That was weird. That was really weird.
Oh,
Making my quiz for me.
Oh, you're doing a quiz after this? Yeah. Oh,
there we go.
we should have made way harder
Oh,
questions.
I actually didn't even send you the PDFs, but I will. Just remind me after the class. Yeah. Okay, that was only 2 questions on that one. Okay, now we're going to get into what I consider the more fun stuff. So we're going to talk about what worked, what didn't work, stuff like that as far as for our business. So what worked for us, and I think Nicole and I have had the realization recently, and I'm going to let Nicole talk about this, specifically like even as social media as an example.
Okay, so last year, Rylar and I were doing all the work ourselves. We got to the point where Rylar could finally quit his job. He quit his job, and then like our kids were getting bigger. They're starting to go to school, so I'm working more. We're getting too busy, so we start hiring people out, which is really cool. But then this year, I guess something we do every year at the beginning of the year is we go on a dream date, and we get sitters for our kids. And Rylar and I go to a place. We turn off our phones, and we just talk about what we want the following year to look like. So we're like, okay, what did we learn from last year? So this year, 2025, like what did we learn last year? Like what, and every day Rylar keeps it on his phone, but I have like our goals lined out on my desk. And it goes like spirituality, physical, working out, whatever. What do you call that? Physical? Yeah, physical goals, business goals. I have seven categories that I do, and I do like 2 or 3 per category. And that way I am always looking at it, and I am always staying consistent with our goals. So like a lot of it is just like, okay, spend more time, like go on, like one of my goals is social goals. And I'm like, okay, once a month, go on a date with our kids. So like I take Maisie, Rylar takes Milo, and then the next month we switch. And that's a goal. And then I just put January through December, and I like mark it off, like little things like that. And as we go on this dream date, that's what we plan. I plan out the rest of our goals for the year. And then one thing we've realized is like, what can we be doing this year for our business that did really well the year before? And I'm just going to use the dream date we just did in January, where we're like, well, look at all the things we've been doing that we thought were a waste of time. Like we send out birthday cards to every client. Like when you buy a house with somebody, You open the door for them. You talk to them about the house they're walking through. You walk through the inspection period. So we get under contract. You have an inspector come over. They look at the home, tell you what's wrong with it. And you're talking through them with these, and it's solving problems. Rylar's really good at this. And then you close and you give them a basket and you're so excited. It's like first-time home buyers are like the best because they're like, I'm realizing the American dream of owning land and walls and a ceiling. Like it sounds so stupid when a first-time home buyer is so excited about their little faucet. They're like, oh my gosh, it like comes up and I can pull the thing out and I can like clean my sink. It is the best. Like it's so cool that we get to help realize that dream for somebody. And so the birthday cards that we send, and every month we send them like a coupon for some business in the area. And we started really pushing social media this year. So we hired someone out, and I was looking back at our goals this year. I'm like, look at all these things we've done that we thought were like, does this even work? Every single one of them have made us business. And we're realizing that more than just grit and hard work, the consistency of showing up and doing the things that you say you were going to do is what pays off in business. Like we do house flyers every month, and that paid off to 2 sellers this year. And just consistency in life, like consistency in the way you eat, consistency the way that you work out, the consistency the way you treat people. That is what's going to equal whatever results that you want more than anything else that we could do.
Yeah, because when we started, it was like, let's try the coupon mailers for a few months. Oh, we didn't get results. Darn.
Our client events.
Let's try some social media. No results. And we were just like, you know what? Let's just try a bunch of things consistently for a long period of time and see what works. And it definitely helps. So consistency over talent. I can tell you right now, I'm probably, if I were to compare myself to the realtors, I'm maybe middle row as far as talent goes. Definitely not the most talented. There's far more talented people. I think it's consistency that's made us be in the top 100 realtors out of over 20,000 realtors. It doesn't have anything to do with talent.
It's cool because you can relate it over to whatever business you guys would want to do. Like if it's making a product, like reaching out to your clientele, like whatever business you do, if you're consistent with whatever you do, it will make you money. Period. As long as it's like a product that people want or a service that people want, but if you're consistent, like it'll equal success. And I think that's how many years have we been doing this in 2018, and we're realizing like this year, 2026, we're finally understanding like that consistency is really the moneymaker of all of it.
Yeah, and one thing that kind of kicked us in the pants is that since 2016, we've just slowly been growing. And I would say that we didn't even have like huge, anyways, we were growing. And then 2024, we like didn't grow. And we didn't really have like a game plan for growth. 2024, we went down. And we were like, that was the first year that we had not just grown. And I would say we were growing naturally just at what our own capacity was. And then we got tapped out and we ended up dropping in 2024. So we were like, oh crap, like what just happened? So that's when we did the dream date. We did the dream date at early 2025. So let's be consistent with everything. We were consistent all through 2025. In 2025, we basically doubled what we had done in 2024. And we didn't change anything that we were doing or had tried. We just did all of it consistently, if that makes sense. So whatever you decide to do, just be consistent with this, with it. Yeah, all the things that Nicole mentioned. And you have to kind of make systems to make it more feasible to be consistent. So we put systems in place. Like she hired a girl in our neighborhood to handwrite the letters that we mail out to our clients for their birthdays. Okay.
And I could do that, but I know I don't have the best handwriting. So I'm like, we've gotten to the point where I'm like, I can pay somebody to do something I'm not good at. Like outsourcing and paying other people what you're bad at. Like I am not good at negotiations. When a client calls us and starts talking about the appraisal, and they're like, the appraisal came in late. You don't have to understand what that means. Just understand that Rylar's really good at it. So Rylar's like, we'll talk to this client or the appraiser and get it figured out. I could not do that. And that's why we make such a good team. Like if you don't have that, hire somebody that can do what you can't do very well. Or learn the skill, but I didn't want to learn that
Same thing for me. I can't stage at home. If you told me to go into a house and make it look pretty, stage it for pictures, all that kind of stuff, I can't do it. Nicole can. The main reason that she decided to join me was help with that side of things. So you're gonna have strengths, play into those strengths. You're gonna have weaknesses, hire that out. Or get a business partner or whatever. And the other thing was we at first I was treating it like a transaction, like a business, and then we learned that obviously we're in the people business, and we made it more about people. That's another big thing that we changed. So what didn't work? So at first I was chasing every opportunity that came, and I ended up finding stuff that would just eat up a ton of my time and result in very little return, right? So I was chasing every opportunity. I wouldn't say no to people. People would reach out and be like, hey, I'm not really looking to sell or buy a house, but will you do this? You know, my uncle has a lot that he's interested in what the price is in Colorado. I can't even sell in Colorado, but I'd be like, oh, yeah. And so I'd spend the time to help them. And I was saying yes to basically everybody, saying yes too often, and it was just eating up my time. So you'll have to learn how to, you know, and I wish I had been more aware of my time, even when we didn't have kids. Obviously, you get way more aware of your time once you have kids. But even before my kids, I wish I was more aware of my time, and I picked more of what I did with my time.
Well, it's hard too because like you have this business you're trying to start and you want to take every opportunity. You know, so it's hard to say no. Like anything that comes your way, I want to take it. It's hard to say no. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay. And then I waited way too long to ask for help. Nicole luckily joined in 2018 because she had Milo, but even after that, we waited too long to get a team of people in place. Now we're just crushing it for us. And then once again, kind of like my earlier thing saying I was busy, but I wasn't productive. So we've kind of already gone over that. So what we do differently if we started today is that we have now created an experience for our clients during the transaction. Nicole's nailed down processes of being able to, like for example, when our clients are buying a home and they get under contract, she sends them cookies or she sends them chips and salsa, right? Nothing too crazy. That's something that I never would have done. I never would have thought of. So she took it and ran it with an experience instead of just Can I expand on this?
Yeah, taking somebody through the motions, she turned it into an experience.
So I learned this from the head of human experience from the Ritz-Carlton. Have you guys heard of Ritz-Carlton? Okay, what is it? Does anyone know what the Ritz-Carlton is?
It's like the nicest hotel
Like
chain.
the nicest hotel chain ever. Like so expensive. I'm talking like $1,500 a night for like a 2-bedroom. Like so expensive. But they go, and the people who go and stay there always come back because their experience is amazing. So for example, she came and said, we once had a little family that came to stay with us and the little boy left his bear at the hotel room. The maid found it and the security guard went around and put the bear on a cabana with a little pair of sunglasses and took a picture with a Polaroid, and then took it over to the kitchen and put a little chef hat on the bear with a little whisk missing up like a bowl. And then they took the bear and got all these pictures of these different experiences and took all those items like the sunglasses and the whisk and put it in a box and mailed it off to this family. Where do you think this family will stay for the rest of their life? At the Ritz-Carlton. Because they delivered an experience. Was it expensive? No. It was like an hour of these people's time to give this family an unbelievable experience that they will always forever be lifetime customers. So forever we are treating our business like a transaction. Come in, buy our product, buy. And now like if we can make every step of the way, if you're selling a product, like someone reaching out on your website, the way you welcome them and say, thank you so much for ordering, and or like a Apple, when you get an Apple product, opening that box, that experience is so special. Like you kind of want to repeat it over and over again, just the way they present it. If you present it that way, people will have your business forever if you give them little experiences that make them feel extra special. So that's what we started doing in our business. And I feel like that is what turned us from 2024 in the dip to get us to come up to here. And it's nothing big. It's like I'm spending maybe $70 per transaction just to give them a little extra experience to make them feel extra special. So they'll use us and refer us over and over again.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then one thing that I didn't do when we first started is I didn't keep track of people. I didn't have, a CRM or a client relationship.
No one knows
manager.
what a CRM is.
Most of these students
Okay.
may.
Do you guys know what a CRM is? Raise your hand if you know what a CRM is.
Oh, maybe they don't.
Russ does.
Say he does. He does.
Yeah.
So it's basically a database of people, right? It's just back in the day they used to use like business cards or file folders or whatever. It's basically a platform that you can keep track of people. And any business that you're in, if you do anything sales related, you probably need to track people. I didn't track people. I kind of had it in my mind, but I wouldn't track people and know, maybe somebody reached out to me and had a question, I'd send them a response, and then I'd never hear from them, so I would just forget to follow up with them to see if they had any further questions. So one of the things that we would do differently if we started over would be track people from day one and stay in touch with them constantly. Stay in touch with people, reach out to people, check in on people. It doesn't have to be salesy, right? Like one of the things that the birthday cards is an easy way for us to stay in touch with people, or congratulating them when they have a baby, stuff like that. We just stay in touch with people. We already talked about being more consistent. And then one thing would be just a network with everyone. I've been in it 10 years now, and I finally feel like I've got a good network of people that I easily could have had a lot before if I had just taken the time to network with people. Okay, we're cranking. All right, future plans. Want me to talk about this, or you want to talk about it?
You can do it.
Okay, cool. Got anything to add to the previous one? Okay. All right, our goals is to add to our team to where me and Nicole can be less involved. We still are pretty heavily involved with the business. Where the beauty of being self-employed is that we can kind of pick our schedules. Like I can go to anything I want to go for my kids, but I'm kind of always connected to my phone, unfortunately, as it is. So we're trying to step away from being able to be so connected. So that's one thing we want to do is grow our team in automation and offload stuff, which talks about the team. And then one question that we thought of as we were driving down is one question a lot of people have in entrepreneurship is, will AI take over, our business? For us, we use AI already. I don't think it's going to replace us. And the reason I say is I don't think AI is ever going to be able to create the experience that we can create, but we are heavily going to leverage AI to make our business way more efficient and to be a team member. So basically for us, I think AI is going to be a team member. Will there be businesses that suffer from AI? Absolutely. But I think you're going to see a ton of businesses pivot with AI and turn it into a bigger business. For me, we're in the same situation now as people were, in the late 90s with the development of the internet, right? I'm sure Russ can talk about that. A lot of people are freaking out about the internet, and it ended up blessing a lot of businesses' lives. I'm sure it made some businesses, go under, but people that leveraged the internet, it became a big deal. I think that's what the same thing is going to be like for AI. Okay, perfect. Final quiz. And this is an open-ended, anybody can answer. What is one thing you learned today, one thing that you learned that you can apply today?
Client relation material.
Client relation material. Love that. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
How you said what you did wrong is chasing every opportunity. I think that's really common for kind of small business owners. Mm-hmm. That's how you kind of have.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see that as a bad thing for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Come grab something. Mm-hmm. We're going to go on. I still want answers to that question, but here's our info. If you want to snap a picture. Oh, actually,
Bag.
We've got an Instagram. We've got a giveaway going on our Instagram. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, we're giving away $200 to either Anniversary Inn or your favorite restaurant. So if you want to hop on our Instagram and
post it today.
Do it.
Please follow us.
Keep going.
Our social media.
Yeah. Keep going though. What else have you learned?
She was raising her hand. Yeah.
Oh. Very important. Good job, Trithol, coming up. Your dad and uncle would be proud.
Hope so.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Blake was 2 years older than me. He played basketball with him.
Okay, fun.
Yeah.
Blake's awesome.
He is.
That's awesome.
Anybody else? Got what? Couple more minutes still.
I have a question. Can you guys put a little bit of some financial context on this?
Perfect.
So, how big does your business need to be in order to step away and feel like, or start hiring team? How do you guys actually make money? What, you said, I think you told me you charge lower commissions to
Correct.
real estate agents.
Yeah.
Can you kind of speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. So an average realtor will charge about 3% to sell a home and 3% to buy homes. Does anybody have family in here that's a realtor?
Everyone knows someone.
Probably most people, you probably know somebody that you just may not know it yet, but you will.
Yeah.
Anybody. Anyway, so most realtors charge about 3% to sell a home, 3% to buy a home. And so that's how they make their income, is off of commission. So when the home closes, when you go to a title company, it closes, the title company sends money to different people, including the realtor. So that's how we get paid. We've built our business that we don't charge the 3%. We charge a lot less. And that's helped us grow because, the average sales price of a home has gone up significantly. So that cost is quite a bit more to somebody. So I just want you to imagine, yes?
How much less do you charge, or does it vary depending on the client?
Great question. So we have different packages people can pick from: 1%, 1.5%, 2.5% for the sell side. On the buy side, there's a few variables that vary, but yeah, starting as low as 1% all the way up to 2.5%.
We started doing that because we realized there's some clients who have a different need, because some people just want to sell the cheapest possible and just get it off market. But then we have our 2.5%, which is like includes staging, cleaning the whole house, and be 100% hands off. We had this $2.1 million house we sold on the bench this year, and they're just like, we don't want to do anything. And so we were over there cleaning windows ourselves, just trying to get this house ready to sell, and they needed the 2.5. So like when you're starting a business, like how can you have it cater to different audiences?
Yeah. And so, but when we first started, the nice thing about real estate is that it's fairly affordable to get into it as a business. I think to stay relevant now, we spend quite a bit of money every month on all the different things that we're doing to be consistent. But starting out, you can start out pretty low cost. The beautiful structure of real estate with our team is that they can just get paid as a portion of each transaction that we do. So their fee can get covered by per transaction. And then we have recently hired an assistant that's helping us on an hourly wage. But it took us, I would say it probably took me, I would say 6 years to where we were making enough to feel comfortable hiring people and stuff like that.
We're more conservative than most agents. Like most agents are like hiring out really early, but Rylar and I are so cheap that like we're not willing to pay people. So it's like,
yeah, which kind of, I think we could have gotten bigger faster. Yeah, one more question, then we'll be done.
Extra question.
Oh, two more. Sorry.
Yeah.
Curious, do you believe as realtors you have an ethical responsibility if there's someone that maybe could technically be approved, but like you said at the beginning, you don't want to make this a nightmare for them? Do you think you have an ethical responsibility, like, hey man, I'm just gonna be honest, as your realtor, this is not a
Yes.
decision?
Yes.
As a realtor, no.
But
But we will say, hey, do you want me to take my realtor cap off and talk to you as a financial coach?
Yeah.
And then yes.
Yeah.
And then
like you guys aren't ready. You need to wait 3 years or whatever.
We have a client that's buying a house now, has been working towards it for
so
3 years because we told them they weren't ready yet.
3 years ago, they're like,
But
we
that
have
was-
$50,000 worth of. I'm sorry. I'm sorry
you're
for
go.
interrupting
Go.
you. We have $50,000 worth of debt, student loans, credit cards. Can we buy a house? I'm like, you could. That'd be stupid in a smart, nice, considerable way. We did, but now we looked at a house. It was literally 2 nights ago. All debt paid off, brand new baby, 9-week-old baby, $50,000 saved because they listened to our advice. They didn't have to, but they
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell somebody they can't buy a house. I'll tell somebody if I think they're in a position they probably shouldn't.
But there's agents who will because they want the paycheck, but we don't do that.
Yeah. We have had clients still buy a house that I don't think they should have, but yeah.
Yeah, I have more question for Nicole. Like, what
Yeah.
would be the best tip to give us about budgeting?
Budgeting?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
students, you have to. In my case, I'm an international student.
Yeah. Where are you from?
I'm from Ecuador.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I have to most likely work with a budget.
Yep.
People tend to know like save the 20% or invest the 10% or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you hear a lot of people think like that. For you, what would be like or your years of experience, what would be the best tip for you to hear about?
I think for us, I'll tell you our experience. We lived very underneath our means for like 5 to 10 years. We graduated with no student loans. Like if you get married, apply for grants. If you're not married, apply for every scholarship. Like we didn't take out any student loans, and we did not take out a car. If you bought a car on credit, never do it again. Buy a car cash, okay? That is your first thing. Do not buy a car in college. That's number one. On a loan.
Budgeting tip.
Budgeting tip. That's my budgeting tip. Try to cash flow school the best you can because your student loans carry over. And yes, like you have a big kid job, but it just dampens your progress way faster. And then live like we graduated after school with no student loans, and we lived like we were still in college for like I said 4 years. And that's how we bought our first house. We paid it off quickly. We got a down payment on our house. We bought cash for our cars. Like transparently, Rylar and I are multimillionaires because we took baby steps in the beginning to live cheaply and underneath our means for a short amount of time. Can we have nice things? Yes. But this age of your life is not the time to have nice things. No, it's socially acceptable to drive a piece of crap car. So milk that for as long as you can. So that would be my advice.
My tip would be,
I have other tips.
I'm surprised Nicole didn't say this because she's really good at this. You got to just track money. You got to track
money.
it.
Know
There's
where it's
great apps. Rocket has a great app for budgeting. There's other free ones out there. You Need a Budget's another one. I would find whatever works for you to track your money. Some people It could be as simple as just having in your bank account, but you got to just track. You got to know where your money's going. I didn't. Before I met her, I was a spender. I didn't know where my money was going. She helped me understand the ways, and then we started tracking our money. And now we have a plan for our money even before we get the money. So yeah.
Thank
question.
you so much, guys.
Yes.
Over 10.
There's swag. You get swag.
Yeah, no one leave. Come get stuff. We have a ton.